Hello, my name is Ricky Reyes Peters III. My name is Ricky Reyes Peters III. This is the USS Force video. And the reason why I made this video is because the Kansas Department of Children and Family Services had technically destroyed everything that I had in mind. And I could have joined the Air Force. I wanted to join the Air Force when I was about 20 years old, but I had failed the aptitude test because by a few questions. Now I would have been really good in the Air Force, and I would have loved it. And could have joined the force, but fortunately the government destroyed everything about me as a child. But this sucks. This is why the Children Department of Children and Family Services (CPS) in Kansas needs to pay $3.5 million because if they had given me a proper education, I would have graduated. I would have graduated and actually would have been able to join the Air Force. Period. If they had not stuck me in Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, I would have been able to join the Air Force. So, government needs to pay the compensation in Kansas and California $2.5 million because there's not any record of me ever being mildly retarded. What they did was is they restricted me from going to high school, going to public school, making up all this bullshit violet crap, and then sitting there forcing me to take Mellaril antipsychotic medication, which was fucking stupid as shit, and sitting there, just writing up documents. In Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, they basically just kick your ass. They didn't give a shit about anything, and that's what these people do. They fuck up children's lives. First of all, I didn't even belong at Parsons State Hospital and Training Center for any reason. Not for any reason. Where I belonged was at Parsons High School and playing football and playing sports like I always have. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Concord, California really fucked up shit for me because they don't want to listen to nothing that is true, so that's why I'm making these videos. There's no intentions of doing anybody any harm. I'm just putting it out there for reasons why people do what they do. People need to just back off and just leave people alone. If you don't like somebody, don't stand there and make trouble for them. If you don't like them, then don't go around them. You see what I'm saying? It's so simple. But nobody does that. They just call the police and make up some allegation because they're too goddamn coward and too fucking pussy to say, hey, sir, if you're not going to buy something here at Starbucks, do you mind leaving if you're not going to buy anything? I mean, people are just fucking pathetic. But anyways, I would have been able to join the Air Force, as I said, and so forth. I would have. But fortunately, since the government likes to savagely insult my intelligence, savagely insult my integrity, savagely give me a bad name and bad reputation, with no understanding to what the fuck is wrong with you. Okay? I have never been violent to nobody. Don't need to. Never been sexually desiring any children. I have never desired that. That's in fucking insane. Seriously, it's in fucking insane. But this is Kansas right here. That's Pittsburgh, Kansas, where I once lived. Parsons, Kansas is right about here. There's Columbus. I've lived in this area for about nearly 15 years. So I think I know my past and I know my history and I know that I have never went out of my way to break the law. Social services, Cherokee County Children Protective Services had no legal business or legal rights putting me in this facility. They absolutely did not have the right to do that. This is Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, as you can see. And I was placed here at the age of 12 goddamn years old. And I would have been able to join the Air Force. I would have loved it. It would have been booyah. But you know what? They took that fucking shit away from me because they want to fucking tell lies. Never have I ever forced anyone in this facility to have sex. Never have I ever launched at a girl and said, hey, well, you're going to give me sex or else. I've never done that. All the sexual activity in this facility were consensual, period. And they were the same age. Never was I raised around any children. Never was I ever raised around anyone younger than me. I was the one who was molested at 7 years old, not some other kid. Jury Ray here at the facility, who basically forced myself to confess shit that wasn't true. And now I have to suffer and pay the price for someone else's wrongdoings. This is why I support having Jerry Ray and his family killed and executed. Because I'm not a sex offender. Never was, never will be. You know, this son of a bitch was running experiments and called the portable plethysmograph. Dave Sorek deserves to be killed as well, alongside his family. Ivan Smith, Curtis Landis, Mike Dixon, Mark Pound, Mark Hopper, Mark Valls, Alan Morris, and etc. Marcia Bayless. All these motherfuckers should have been spending time in fucking jail for physical assault and so forth. Period. I was never a sex offender. Now, Edith's boss, who used to work here at Parsons State Hospital and Training Center, me and her both were sexual partners, and every time we were alone, we would be sexually involved, kissing and touching and groping, period. And that was way over here. I'd be in her office, filling her breasts up and filling on her vagina. She was hot. Anyway, she was a cottage social worker here. You have Portia Murphy, who's a fucking say, oh, you threatened me with a knife. Nobody threatened her with a knife. Fucking little dumbass retarded slut. What the point was, is, you know, people here think that they have the right to control me. No, I don't take people's demands and controls and all that crazy shit. I do what I want to do. Now, unless I'm holding somebody at gunpoint, go fuck yourself. Unless I'm robbing a bank, go fuck yourself. Unless I'm sitting around holding someone hostage, go fuck yourself. Period. You know, Jerry Ray forced me to tell Tim and Sue Colley in 1995, before I was actually discharged here and all my records were sealed, August 23rd of 1995. So California doesn't have any jurisdiction of this facility or its contents or its records. Jerry Ray was forcing me to confess to things that weren't even there. I've lost a lot of relationships because of this man. And I would love to drive a U-Haul truck and park it right here and blow this motherfucking building right through the ground. That's what needs to be done. Because people like me, we have the right to not be alienated and criminally alienated and forcefully compelled to lie to other people just so he can benefit himself. Please. So Jerry Ray in 1995 demanded that I tell Tim and Sue Colley, or tell Sue, that I had sexual fantasies of her 12-year-old adopted daughter. That was strictly untrue. It's like, what the fuck, dude? I wanted to kill this man. I wanted to end his life for doing that, because I never had any sexual forceful problems with anybody here. You know, the staff members here, like Ivan Smith, Curtis Landis, Mark Pound, Alan Morris, and other staff members should have been doing time in jail. They don't have the right to grab me, touch me, control me, restrain me, or whatever the fuck it is they have to do. Pissing me off, I will respond and say, look, you're not going to control me. Period. Now, social services, the Children Welfare Services, placed me here at 12 years old. And this is not where I was supposed to be. I was actually supposed to be in the shelter for boys. Period. Now, as far as I'm concerned, as I said, I would have been able to be in the Air Force. That was my life dream as a child, is to go into the armed forces. Why not? It would have been great. But, you know, government likes to fuck shit up. So they need to, like, wise up a little bit and start accepting children as children and quit treating us like we're convict criminals at the age of 7. Okay? It's that simple. Government likes to treat people like me and keep victimizing us for as long as they can. I'm Richard Williams Peters III. I'm a 39-year victim of government brutality, government terroristic behaviors, and government terrorism. Period.